and Ryan Stone. He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. You have to get through that wall because he...
79T 2458 Learning Corp, Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
Somebody find out the real names for me.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
You have to get through that wall.
So I only know what my heart feels.
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
Socially retarded.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
I always find that video funny. Hey guys, how's it going? How you doing? How you feeling? Audio levels are good, I'm assuming. The people at church did this title. Yeah, it's the latest thumbnail and Substack article covers them doing it's an art style called Stuckism, and I'm just hooked on it. The idea was a bunch of British guys doing it, and it was supposed to be a distancing from irony, which I kind of understand, but I also enjoy it's got a little bit of surrealism there, which if you, or not surrealism, cubism, which if you don't know what cubism is, they're stealing from the ancient Sumerians. The idea is, and the best way I can describe it is, if you ever go to see a Sumerian exhibit, you'll see one of their chimeras or whatever it is, their lion, dragon, gargoyle things. And if you'll notice, the statue has 5 legs, because you're meant to look at it from straight ahead or straight from the side. So from the side, you see 4 legs, and from the front, you see 2 legs. And then the one leg is the corner. So you actually have 5 legs on the thing. And the idea is you're meant to only see it from one side at a time. So if you look at it from a diagonal, it looks odd. And cubism was that. They were trying to look at multiple sides of a thing at the same time. And then they mix that a little bit in with the idea is children tend to be sincere, like irony and sarcasm. Those don't develop until later. And so the childlike pencil crayon quality to it. And that's the idea. It's just like, yeah, instead of ironic, just sincere. Sincere, ugly, messy. I think it's just wonderful. Hey, we got Orc City himself in the chat. What's going on, John? So I got a good one today. I am going to shill the books because if I've checked the numbers, and I know not all of you have read it yet. And I also know from YouTube, they're explaining that sometimes you have to show somebody a thumbnail to a video 8 to 12 times before they finally decide to click it. So that's on me. I've only showed you like 3 times, so I got 10 more to go. Change the outros of the videos to that one anyway. Oh, and what a surprise. It just happens to be here. Ghost of Odessa. Oh, that's weird. My cover looks green. That's right. That's the special edition cover that went just to the Kickstarter guys. Went with the backing. Having said that, one guy from Poland, I got to reach out to you. I just got yesterday in the mail your thing and the address. I don't know what, I have to read it. I don't know what it says. It's something in Polish, but basically you're saying no, not sending him book. I know it's not customs. So I'd assume it's either a problem with the address, which, you know, it's the address you gave me, so I'm assuming it's good, or just somebody needed to sign for it or something. So we'll figure that out. But it's a light read. Look, man, they just fucked up He-Man. What do you want from me? They fucked up He-Man, like just now. So the best thing you can hope for right now is to have something enjoyable and not based on previous IP. And why would you not want to get it then? I look extremely orange on this one. I don't know, it's just whatever. I may fix that out. I don't know why StreamYard has added color to me, which is nice, but I've got enough. I went out in the sun twice today, and I'm already like just about dark enough to want myself kicked out of the country. Ugly people. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. I always forget that if I'm going to do a transition, that I should use the whole point of these things as a transition.
Boom, what's up, fam? Got some big news to share that unfortunately is not so good, so I'm gonna jump right into it. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna cry. At least we can laugh at your eyes as you cry, looking in the corner like a little girl in the fetal position.
Watch as we do color correction on the spot. On the spot? Holy sweet Jesus. Did he really? He did. Did it do anything? Close enough. Close enough. Burn notice filter. Was that the show with Army of Darkness guy, Bruce Campbell, where he played the CIA guy in the Hawaiian shirts? Because that would be absolutely hilarious if that's so. Hello, sir. Big friend from the Middle East. Hey, man. Congratulations. Hopefully the war is going well. It's good to see you. My Mish brothers are down there. I see X-Runner in here too. Okay, it is. Nice. So that's kind of the look I was going for. Oh, ugly people don't like game. Ugly people don't like game. Any books in the Human Thumb besides Joe Navarro's body book? What? Gotta word that one again, man. That sounds weird. That sounds like a bait question. Send it in a super chat. I'll decipher it then. Ugly people don't like game. And it's true. I was doing some chatting about this with the group and kind of realized an old school thing, like Chesty and them. You know how, like, the red pill space is amoral. In other words, you leave your morals at the door. This is strictly about how to fix specific problems. And everybody hears that to think it means immoral, which if you don't know the difference, amoral just means without morals. And you're like, well, that sounds bad. It's like, is it really? Auto mechanics is without morals. You're putting bolt to screw to hole to nut. Like, what morality involves engine repair? None. So it's amoral. Immoral, on the other hand, is how do we go against morality, like the opposite of morality. If I stab you and take your stuff, I can make millions. That's immoral. Now, I don't know if you want to say it's just a combination of reading comprehension. Maybe it is the literacy thing that everybody keeps complaining about, because they always say the generations are the least literate generation ever. To which I would respond, everything you think of as a generational decline is actually demographic change. But we're not going to go there today, at least not until I've had a few coffees in me and I start ragging about the a certain unnamed Southeast Asian subcontinent. So yeah, and then you kind of go through and guys, all right, I get it. So don't chirp about how people should be. The idea is just remove should from the space and you'll figure it out. We're not talking about oughts, we're talking about ids. And it was just like hell, because every time something would happen that somebody had a problem with, they'd have a thing. Like Ultimate Cat, I talk about him. He was, if you guys haven't heard about him in a while, he's the guy who kind of got fat and out of shape, became a plow horse, wife didn't respect him. And then at one point, her phone, you know how the phone has like, you know, where's my phone on Google? So I don't know the details of it, but the idea is she went out to lunch with an old college fling and then lied about it to him. And then there was like other signs and stuff like that, but he made the decision. He's like, you know what? The fact that she would just lie about something like that to me means she doesn't respect me. And he hit rock bottom. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. He stopped liking his wife. He stopped loving his wife. But he kind of had a family. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. So he got his ass into shape. He got his ass into amazing shape. He was crushing it at work, making a bunch of money. And then he decided to just sleep with everybody. He demoted his wife to plate and kept her around because he doesn't trust some stepdad to raise his kids. Which is like, if you ever wanted to test somebody's amoral stance towards the space, you couldn't pick a better cheerleader. He was unapologetic. And then you're asking yourself, really? Is a guy who's sleeping around and doing that much going to brag about it on the internet? To which I would say, well, he actually did address that, because somebody was asked, like, dude, if you really sleep with all these people, you're not online, you're offline enjoying life. He goes, guys, who else can I talk to about this stuff? I can't share this with work. I can't share this at home. I can't share this with the kids. I can't share this with my friends, my pastor, my preacher, nobody. I'm not allowed to tell anybody that I'm happy and my wife isn't. They don't care that she was doing this and nobody had a problem with it. They don't care about any of that stuff. They would ruin my life. So yeah, you internet assholes are the only one that get to hear me brag about this stuff. It's the only place I get to vent. And I understand I understood now why people keep treating it like Catholic confession. It's weird, and I don't like it, and it's not conducive to the space, but for guys who fuck, I understand that I can't tell anybody else how awesome I am. Ever. It doesn't work. Especially when it comes to the moral stuff, which is basically making women feel bad. Oh, sweet Jesus. You son of a bitch.
So the memes, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha
named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I'm still recommending clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
I'm back. Working night shifts for 2 weeks, 7 till 5 in the morning. How have you guys been? Dude, I miss night shifts. Like, it sucks for regular life, but as far as, like, having peace, oh, you just can't beat it. You're whole alive and awake. Like, you get up when it's dark, you go to sleep when it's dark, nobody's around to do anything, everything's free and clear, nothing's open, but whatever, it's good. How's everybody enjoying Twitter money? Odd thing, Nuke, I can't explain it. I earned 10 times what I normally earn this payout period. And the only thing that changed, I had a couple of videos that did, like, or a couple tweets that did like 500,000 impressions. But it was just the same dumb shit. It was like, I just took what I normally do and then I dumbed it down to a Nigerian audience, and it's like, took off. So I don't know. I understand how slop merchants now are doing it, because if I was 4 times as prolific with slop, I would almost earn as much as my writing, but I'm not about to do that because I don't trust that consistency, and plus it'd be kind of embarrassing. Anyways, yeah. Where else am I going to brag about this stuff? And he's not alone. He's not the only guy who was like this. Uncle Vaz is basically this. He's like, I don't need this. You guys can't teach me nothing. I'm here because, like, I can't talk about this anywhere else. Whisper, human sock puppet, same thing. Whisper had his harem, 2 wives. Human sock puppet was slinging as a single guy. A lot of guys that were doing really well. There's a lot of guys that were good marriages that stuck in the married red pill. Now, granted, the married red pill guys started with problems and ended with good marriages. So that's the difference. Nobody ever walked in there with like a great marriage. Like, I can't brag about this anywhere else. Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. Yeah, very good day. Maybe it's just all the slop accounts going away. That's how much everybody should have been earning. But the Nigerian scammers are taking it all, which would be insane to think. That's like it's like a euphemism for LA mayoral fraud. So it was very interesting, and you get a lot of people, they chirp and they chirp, and if you ever have like, Whammer Please used to put it best. It's like, yeah, you can be a girl in here. We can't stop you. Yeah, we can ban you, but you just make another account. And unless you say you're a girl, nobody will know you're a girl. And it's so funny because, like, that's the only rule we had after this girl named Deads and Sushi, because she hated Ultimate CAD. And she was great at testing guys' frames. She was great at nutrition. She was great at working out. As soon as it came to sexual strategy, though, she fucking blew down and just fucking turned the place into a shithole. So eventually we're like, you know what? We're making a rule. No more chicks. But again, it's just a name on the internet. You don't know who's a chick unless they tell you. You know how you're going to tell you? Say something about another woman. Say something about a guy cheating on his wife, and oh, they can't help themselves. It is so funny. You'd almost want to just bait it just to see. You know? And Steve actually has hit the point perfectly because we're getting right to it. Steve in accounting, from Aaron Clary fame. Years ago, some black pillars said, I don't want to hear about this game BS. There is no game. You're not going to convince a girl who's not attracted to you. Just be interested in you suddenly. Which is funny because they don't understand what game means. Like, nobody would disagree with that statement. But that's not what game is at all. So it's like, who are you arguing with? Your own ignorance? For shame. Anyways, we're getting to that. Where are we at here? We're at the immorality part here. The immorality part. So it kicked all the girls out, and then every time Cad would talk about, and like I think it was, my memory's getting long, man. I'm starting to forget things. But there was a thing about how to, like, tips on knowing if your wife was cheating or something like that. Because a lot of that, like, what he found out is, like, you're better off with married girls because they know how to keep their mouth shut. And that was his rule, which was like a funny sexual strategy. If you're a married guy and step out on your marriage, then make sure you step out with marrieds, because single girls catch feelings and talk shit. And they love ruining marriages, thinking, I can get him on the rebound. And he's like, I'll kill you, woman. Because he was in a cab with a chick, and I'm paraphrasing, but I got the details right. He was in the cab with a chick. She was on the phone, told him to be quiet, called the husband, called the kids, love you, ma. And then as soon as she put the phone and hung up, started fooling around with me. So it's like, yeah, if your wife checks in with phone calls and Instagram shit every now and again, doesn't mean shit. They can work around that stuff, so don't fall for it. And all the other, like, don't put a GPS tracker in your thing, 'cause it doesn't matter. They're going to go on a work trip or something like that anyway, so they're going to figure it out. And it was funny because he went down all the list of all the moralizing ways to catch your wife when she's cheating or ways to stop your wife from cheating. He goes, none of that's going to work. I've seen it all, and I've seen them all get around it. If a girl wants to cheat on you, there is nothing you can do about it. And I'm here to tell you from the other side of things, all you can do is stop being an idiot, because, like, there's no way you don't know. Maybe don't know immediately. You maybe don't know on the first time, maybe the second time, maybe the third time, but eventually chicks get stupid. Chicks get stupid, chicks get clever, and anybody here who's a cop knows the exact same thing. Criminals are easy to catch because they embolden. After every crime they get away with, they embolden themselves. Well, I can do this, and I can do this. They only have to make one mistake, so they should be paranoid. But again, if you've been getting away with it for half a dozen times, you're going to get paranoid. You're not going to get paranoid, you're going to get emboldened. Because that's all you have to do is pay the fuck attention. And then just better yet, the fact that you're being put in a place where you have to, like, second guess her. Like, women don't do that by accident. It's like Nuke always says, no woman ever touches you by accident. Jeez, I don't know if she's going to Vegas with friends just because, or because she wants, like, really, bro? The fact that you even have to ask tells you, even if she's not, she's trying or open to it. So his advice was simple, just act accordingly. Anyways, they didn't like that. Which leads me into the topic of this one. Ugly people don't like game. Anytime you would get somebody trying to, like, none of the veterans of any red pill space, nobody who's doing well moralizes in these spaces. The only people who moralized in those spaces were the guys with horrible marriages, with horrible sex lives, the black pillars or whatever the fuck, which I don't know why you would make a turn. I don't understand. You're antisocial. So what is this need for community? Like, the idea of a black pillar as some community group guy makes no sense to me. None. And then of all the groups to pick, you couldn't, like, pretend to be a well-adjusted group with, like, hopes and dreams and aspirations. No. I want to call myself the Retarded Losers Club. At least He-Man Woman Haters Club's got He-Man. You know what I mean? What are we doing here? Anyways, I see your follow-up on it. Just give me a second. So I guess, I mean, to answer this question, I'm going to say it again during the things as part of my show notes here. But yeah, there is no game. You're not going to convince a girl. It's that they think you can convince. Like, you see what I mean? Their entire way of understanding the world is via manipulation. You're not going to manipulate a girl who's not attracted to you to be interested in you suddenly. It's like, which is true. You can't. And this is like the big thing that people with game learn, is that you cannot manipulate people. Charm and game and charisma and swag is never about getting somebody who's not interested in buying a car into buying a car. Not interested in dating you to date you. Not interested in buying Ghost of Odessa now on Amazon stores right now. QR code in the top corner. Or you can just go to ryanstone.com/ghost and it'll take you directly there. Notice we got it in paperback, in hardcover, and Kindle. But even then, I cannot be charming enough to convince you to read a book if you don't read. That's not what game is. Game is about peacocking, ultimately. It's a social peacocking. Everybody feels good around guys with game. Oh, it's nice. Oh, he's so charming. He's so happy. He asks me how I'm doing. I feel good about myself. He's always smiling. Cheers up my day. There's sexual tension in there. Oh, he makes me feel anxious about things. Oh, is that other chick going after him? All this stuff is game. It makes people feel things. And here's the thing. If they don't feel you, they're not going to feel you with game. They may not hate you as much, but they're not going to feel you. But people who are kind of like ambivalent towards you, it's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. Or people that are like, yeah, I like that guy. The game is absolutely the way to filter. And that's what they don't understand. It's to filter the people who are worth your time. And I mean that in a self-centric way. Like, people that are worth your time, if you're single, girls that are worth your time are ones that want to fuck you. That's basically it. Well, what about the good conversations? You have friends. Relax. Girls that are worth your time are girls that are willing to trade attention for sex. It's just, and look, it sounds mean, and I'm sure there's more to them, and I'm sure you'll care about that eventually, but we're talking like from the get-go. If I can't stick something into that, I don't want it. That's fair. I mean, we can be honest here about our wants and desires, right? Can we do that now? Oh, and it's impossible to teach swagger. To this day, I still struggle to define game or even know how to get better game. And this is coming from guys who get actions by cute girls. I mean, it's definable, but it's like all the other red pill stuff where it's more of a metaphor than a clinical, than a strict definition, which is limiting. Because here's the problem. As soon as... I'm going to use autism. I don't know why I always pick autism as these metaphors, but I do. I'm going to pick autism as my example. People used to be strange or weird or eccentric, and they kind of did their thing. But until somebody grabbed a chunk of behaviors and called it autism, nobody was autistic. What are you talking about? There was just things, it just wasn't defined before. That's not what I mean. Yeah, there was some people that were nonverbal. And there were some people that were socially awkward. And there were some people that were antisocial. And there's some people that weren't able to pick up on emotional cues. And there were some people that had a hyperfixation on stuff, like the idiot savants. Remember that? Remember back when they used to call things idiot savants? Rain Man was not autistic. He was an idiot savant. Idiot savant just means you're a retard, but for some reason are just crazy good at math or cards or something. Anyways, so once they called it autism, all of a sudden, all of those people drifted into the autism circle. They worked on the definition. And it's just like, once we anchor a term to a concept, people gravitate towards the concept. So as soon as you nail down game to a specific concept, people will gravitate towards it, which sucks because at the peripherals of these definitions is so much value, so much stuff. There's parts of game, people will then associate game with like positive whatever, and if it's negative whatever, they'll start associating with being abusive, and it's just like, nah, man. It's kind of better that you leave it in that nebular area. But so One More Please left the internet. All this stuff's gone, but like I've got archives of it, so I'm kind of trying to rewrite it and put it up. My cultural anthropology thing, he's cool with it. He's like, yeah, get it up there. It's all good stuff. But he actually defines it fairly well, and I think broad enough that it won't have that problem. But he says game is the social and sexual interplay between men and women. I like that because he doesn't attach a value to it. It's just, yeah, this is just the interplay between men and women socially and sexually. Notice how he doesn't add a value to it. It's not saying effective game. And he doesn't mention what the end goal is, the effective game for this or for that, because the goals are open-ended. You can have any goal you want. You can charm an old lady because you want her to give you one of her Werther's originals. You can charm a child because it just brightens your day. You remember that video Royce used to show about game, and girls have always loved game, where it's that Turkish ice cream salesman fucking around with that like 4-year-old with the ice cream cone, and she's loving it. You can't call that game. She's 4 years old. It's like, sure you can. It's just the interplay between men and women. See now it fits better. Dad talking to mom, dad talking to babysitter, dad talking to the au pair, dad charming his director at work. Any interplay between men and women is game. And it makes sense too, because when you hear Rolo talking about it, he goes, everybody has game. They have their game. Now, some game is more effective than others, some game is less effective, some game is absolutely toxic, and some game is good. Of course, he doesn't mention to what end, but it's different for everybody. But for sake of argument, we're just going to say the getting laid. Getting laid game. What do you got? You got sneaky fucker. And this isn't something that you teach. It's something that guys who suck at game and suck at looks and suck at charm and suck at swag do. So when you talk about swagger, I don't think you can teach it in the sense that you can't fake it. I think you can tell a guy what swagger is, but until a guy does things to earn swag, he's never going to get it. You know what you have to do to get swag? If you want swagger, you have to be king shit of something. You have to be the greatest Warhammer 40,000 player in the park. You have to be like on the NBA, like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, both have swagger. You know why? Because they're the top of their game. You get some local band in some buttfuck nowhere town, he's got swagger because he's got the top of his game too. The problem with swag is that you can't just all you have to do is act as if you're the greatest thing ever. And as most people don't know what the fuck that means. So I don't even know what that means. So they act the way they think it does. And you end up with this pantomime of swagger. And then everybody can tell the difference. You can always tell the difference. You don't know why you can tell the difference because all you know is that you've seen somebody with swag before. And your brain registers hundreds of little things about it that just stand out. The way he speaks, the tone he speaks, the cadence he speaks. Probably speaks a little bit slower. Probably walks with a little more skip in his step. Probably doesn't get fazed by just about anything. Probably has zero concern of the affections of women, but for some reason keeps throwing it at him. Whatever. A lot of things you can't even describe. His eye doesn't twitch. I don't know. So you can't fake that because they're it's weird. He's doing 4 of the things, but he's missing 50. So yeah, you can't teach swag. Yeah, I'm a good looking dude. Some would say I'm pretty. I hate game because pretty loses novelty after some point. Only a game matters, it seems. A very little game. I wonder why the title. Well, you see, and this is kind of where I'm going with this too. Ugly people hate game. And you're saying, well, I'm pretty. Are you though? Do you know that stupid, you know me, charts and figures and graphs? There's nothing that tells me more about somebody's experience in the sexual marketplace over their lifetime than it's directly correlated or inversely correlated with the amount of screenshots of graphs and charts and infographics and listicles that they post in regards to their game. You know that stupid chart where it's guys think most girls are okay. Most girls are a 5, and it's just a very simple bell curve. And then and that's based on social media stuff. And for girls, they think most guys are unattractive, and their bell curve is heavily skewed to the left. And then a bunch of the, black pill guys, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Average frustrated Trumps. What's Rolo's one? The Lonely Hearts Club or something? I don't like wrapping a term around it because then as soon as you put a term around it, guys gravitating towards it. I'm a black pill doomer. It's dude, shut up. But they take that to mean, well, that just means women are entitled and they think most men are ugly. It's no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And this is kind of the case for game. Guys like girls because they're young and they're pretty and they're pleasant. That's basically it. We may love our wives because they cook a mean stroganoff or a beef Wellington. We may love our wives because she's pleasant and a place of peace. We may like that chick because she's super bitchy and we like conquering bitchy women. Whatever. Ultimately, if you want to get down to the biological imperative side of us, we like women because they're young and pretty. Because pretty signals, what's the word? Fertility or whatever. So you put a picture, which is the best indication of whether somebody is young and pretty is a photograph. It really is. So you put them into, I think it was OkCupid that did this original study. Guys have all the information. They have a perfect information symmetry here. I like pretty, young, hot girls. Here shows me the list of all the girls, of which I can put them on a bell curve, and it turns out most women cluster around the mean. Most women are 5. Most women are mid. Mid, defined by middle, which is what most women are. Guys, on the other hand, we are not just looks creatures, unless you're gay. Gay men love men that are young, extremely skinny, and hot. That's basically it. So if you got gay men on the apps, they would probably rate other gay men on the curve as well. Big bell curve. Maybe you like bears, maybe you like twinks, maybe you like those weesh Star Wars fans looking pudgy ones. I don't know. But men aren't just looks creatures. Men are loved for many things. You got No Ma'am, his blog about Brifalt's Law is a perfect example. Guys are liked for lots of things. Yeah, there's the resources thing. What the hell's resources? Basically, whatever people value and need for survival and luxury and leisure is resources. Anything that you have to go out and do something to acquire is a resource. Money is just one. Status, technically a resource as well. Every girl would love to be the wife of the CEO of the base kind of thing, right? That's why you see so many guys. There's like a joke on military TikTok, which yes, there's a military TikTok. When the brand new second lieutenant shows up to your space, if you don't know, that's like a brand new minted officer, and he's giving the gate guard crap about, hey, you didn't salute my wife when she came in. She was pissed. He goes, yeah, it's regulation, man. We don't salute the wives anymore. Which is a sad thing, a naval tradition. We used to love it. He goes, well, you didn't salute me? It's like, yeah, you're in civilians. We don't salute you either. All right, fair enough. Well, I'm going to talk to your boss. Women love status, and so status makes you attractive. How do you think those ugly men who crush, like, ugly men with hot chicks, chances are they're usually in charge of something pretty cool that has, and infers a status gain, because women are all about status. And then there's game. How do you make somebody feel around you? If a girl feels like shit around you and you're hot, no, she's not going to like it. Why do you think dad bods are crushing it out there? You know that whole, like, what women think when they see dad bod and it's a picture of Jason Momoa? You know what the whole point of dad bod is? It's so the chick can eat ice cream without feeling guilty, because if you're shredded and she's not, well, obviously you're doing that to make her feel bad. That's not game. That's why most fitness influencers are dating other fitness influencers, because everybody else is way too neurotic about it, and only the fitness guy has enough narcissism to like appreciate another. Dude, your abs are better than mine. Let's fuck. All right, let's do it for the gram. Do me a solid before we leave. Can I get a photo of you leering at me at the gym so I can shame you for clout? It's like, yeah, let's go. I'll make a video with Joey Swoles about just let people work out and leave them alone. So yeah, so guys like status is good, and then guys who have game is good, and then obviously the way a guy looks. But I think Carl, former co-host of this show, put it best. Looks just need to reach a threshold. You don't have to be great looking. You have to be good looking enough. Well, what about the Avengers? What about Thor? They think he's hot. He's tall. He's whatever. Yeah, he's hot. But he's hot and he's an actor, which infers huge status. And he's charming. So it's like, it's not because he's the tall, attractive Australian guy. The tall, attractive Australian guy, he could be less attractive than that and still just as hot. How do you think Tommy Chalamet, or whatever his name is, how do you think he gets them? Does he look as hot as Thor? But he's swinging in poon too. Yeah, it's Hollywood poon, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So you take a guy who's loved for 4 or 5 different things, and I'm being, just, it's an illustrative example, not descriptive. And then you throw his photo online. You're not getting perfect information. I don't know. Maybe he is hot. He's kind of cute, but what if he's nitpicky? What if he's ugly in his soul? What if he's just a garbage man? And no shame to garbage men, but let's face it, it's not a giant status job. So yeah, they're going to take a single thing. That's like if you only rate women based on their baking skills, you're probably going to get a similar chart to that, where most women are under attractive when it comes to baking banana bread and waffles, Ooh. All right, I see. Let's get some super chats going here. Free Gender 930 with a $10 super chat. Please read and chat. All right, I'll see where you start here. Excuse me. The 2 craziest things to me in life are, my buddy thought the pickup artist was retarded. I used it to sleep with 20 women in 2 years. Also, once I revealed to women I'm in an open relationship, they had a real deal to me. They're dating 4 different guys at the same time. Yeah. All right, let me get to the bottom here, make sure I don't miss anything. What if you naturally get swagger by doing awesome things? That's the point. You can't teach it because you have to experience the things that earn swagger. That's it. But yeah, you get it. Anyways. Yeah. Like, and there's so much to game as far as benefits go. You know? Just being the guy at work who's the go-to guy, like, oh, I'd love to have a beer with that guy after work. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're kind. You can be an asshole, but you can be charming about it. Sometimes it's just like, dude, when I'm going on a break at work, like, he's the guy I want to hang out with because he's always got something fun on the go. He just makes you feel better about yourself. He's got amazing, amazing pathos. So yeah, game is more than just about sleep. But here's the thing. So you see what I talked about with like the women and like guys just from a look alone, you can't quite tell. Maybe he's attractive enough, maybe he's not. They don't know if you're worth giving it up to until they feel you out for a bit first. Maybe have a conversation. Maybe find out what other people think of you. You know, and those are like surrogate metrics for status and charm and swag and game, right? That's why when girls find out, oh, you've been dating my friends, huh? Well, I'll have to see what all the hullabaloo is about. There's always that one guy in the group. You ever notice that? There's all these guys, mixed party, and then there's the one guy in the group's like, yeah, I've slept with all the female friends in this group, and none of them care. They're not jealous, but if you put one guy who slept with a girl in the group, and then you get a second guy who slept with it, those two got tension. It's because we don't rate game the same way. I remember even Kat even had another story about this where the women who cheat on their husbands in his suburban whatever he was at, he noticed that they tend to swap notes, same as guys do. And what was the line he used? I hear you're a friend with like Cindy or whatever. I think we could be friends too. Like they'd throw out signals like that. And he's like, oh, okay, fair enough. But then they're looking for something different. You can't tell in an OkCupid profile if a guy can be discreet. I'm here to sleep around with my husband. I need to know you're not going to fucking run your mouth and ruin my goddamn good life. You can't find that out from a photograph, so of course guys are going to look less attractive in photographs, but you talk with a guy for 5 minutes. If he's bragging about all the poon he's laid, you're like, yeah, if he's opening his mouth about her, he's probably going to open his mouth about me. I don't care if you looked like Jason Momoa or not. That's definitely not attractive. Because girls love to have hot sex with cool dudes, but the one thing they don't like is to have them run their fucking mouth about it. Because as far as anybody's concerned, especially that guy I want to marry someday and have 1.2 kids with and a house that he paid for, is I definitely don't want him thinking that I do all this fancy sex stuff with other guys and I'm not doing it with him. That's fucking terrifying. We don't call it swag anymore. We call it Riz. I would say, in fairness, Riz and swag are two different things. Riz is just charisma. Swag is like a... You know what? I haven't actually had to think about this long enough yet, but how would I describe the... Like, I know swag and Riz are different, but how would I describe that? I guess the best way I could put it is charisma is like sitting down in a nice restaurant, where swag is like a great set of tits slapping you in the face. But I don't know how else to describe it. You just kind of have to feel the metaphor there. I don't, and that's the best I can do. Jesus. All right, Duke, I'm not doing this anymore with you, but I'm going to use you as another example. Looking good makes me validation seeking. I have to consciously avoid it, or I become Mr. Good-looking guy to Mr. Good-looking stagnant bitch. The fuck are you talking about, man? What does this have to do with anything? So this isn't the validation seeking show. This is the game show. Oh, the game show. Looking good makes you validation seeking. Nothing makes you validation seeking other than seeking validation. That's it. Yeah, but they just said I'm like, who fucking cares what other people say? Don't you know I'm the guy who wrote the book called Frame on this stuff? Oh, he's trying too hard. Says who? The guy who doesn't try hard enough? Well then, excuse me while I change my whole life to demean my accomplishments so you can feel better about yourself, Mr. Doesn't Get Laid loser that I just made up, but he know he exists. Fuck that. No. Looking good makes you good looking. That's it. At best, you'll get accused of being gay, which isn't the worst thing ever. As a former metrosexual, and I was definitely metrosexual in the 2000s. I had a hair straightener and everything, which is hard to do when you're in the military. But one of the best things you could... I thought you were gay. Oh, it's just because I look good. And I smell nice. And my hair looks coiffed. A lot of guys get offended about that. It's just a little shit test, man. What they're saying is, you look good and well put together enough that I thought you were gay because straight men are lazy buffoons who don't put effort into anything. To which you would say, thank you. But I also prefer vagina. To which the girl is like, interesting. I'll lock that in my magic box. It's like, I hope you will. See what I did there? It's a little innuendos. So yeah, no, somebody calls you validation seeking. It's because they want to get a rise out of you. And this is kind of one of those swag things. A guy with swag would be completely ambivalent to this statement. Oh, you look so good. You're probably just doing that for the attention. He's like, I don't know what you... It's like, it's a non-reaction reaction. And that's one of those things you can't fake because ultimately, I would argue, and I don't know Duke of Dunes, but I'm just making an educated guess here, that he is validation seeking. So when somebody calls him validation seeking, it fucking hits a nerve. It's like, oh, I don't like that. I feel it. Even if it's not true, you feel like it's true. And so what do? You change your behavior because somebody said a word against you. And now now you try to act ugly. You ug yourself up. And that's all it took for you to waste all of that effort being pretty was some sideways word from somebody clearly chirping at you. There's no frame in that, man. No frame in that. Fucking own it. My one buddy, Jay, used to go out with him all the time. He was the only, like, he was like 6'3" rugby player, kind of had like a chubbier face. It's hard to explain, but if you go to guys from Southern Ontario, you know the look. Like a Sarnia type thing. Pre-Indian Sarnia. He always used to joke, because he had a big scar on his face here from rugby back when he was a kid. Somebody stepped on his head with a cleat or something like that. And he always used to say, oh, I'm just an ugly bastard. But he had so much game. Dude, he was like, take the swag of like Chris Farley, put it on like what's that comedian's name, the new guy, who's the comedian that always talks about Down syndrome, like that guy where he's like 6'4", former sports guy with like the Chris Farley attitude, like game for, and then like zero shame, willing to do anything, which I guess, yeah, it's like the Chris Farley thing. Huge swag. And you could sit there telling people he's ugly, and it doesn't matter, because he's like, you're not telling me ugly to seek my validation. Same thing as I had other friends that were way prettier than me. One guy was on the volleyball team at our college. Oh, he was fucking gorgeous. Gorgeous. He looked like the Rock. Like the Thin Rock. And he was like 6'3", something like that. Oh, and I hated going out with him, man, because as soon as I went out with him, it's like, the best I'm going to get is the girls that got shut down by him get to come to me to complain about him too. And I'm like, this is not why I came to the bar. I didn't come to the bar to be the sloppy second emotional tampon. I'm fucking out of here. Yeah. So yeah, you have to consciously avoid it, or I become Mr. Good-looking guy to Mr. Good-looking stagnant bitch. But you see what I mean? Like, this is, well, so first point I'm making is, you know when I was talking before about the black pillars, which, why stop calling yourselves that? Please, for the love of God, pick a different name. At least go with the He-Man Woman Haters Club, because He-Man. Is they only see the world through manipulation. People try to manipulate me. I'm too good looking, and they call me a stagnant bitch, so I stop looking good. Teach them a lesson. They get so easily manipulated because, and it's the same as like people getting scammed. You can only ever scam the guilty or the scared. That's it. And so it's the same thing. And I could buckle it down to a fear of rejection, but for the sake of argument, it doesn't really matter why. The fact that somebody can say some things to you and have you change your entire worldview. Yeah, you're very easily able to be manipulated, but they're not manipulating you. You're manipulating yourself. So if that's all you see, of course that's all you think that game would be, is like me manipulating other people. And of course the argument for that is that only works on broken and defective and easily manipulated women. It's like, because that's all these people know. That's all these people know. And so they assume that's what everything is like. They're so caught in their mental model, that's all they can see. It's like a fat person. Fat people act certain ways because they know people don't like fat people. So they act jolly. They act charming. They're the fun of the party. They're always the heavy drinkers and that. And then when they lose weight, they'll find, oh my God, I barely have to be charming at all for people to like me. This is fucking insane. Same thing. If you're one of these charmless losers types, I don't know why you'd call yourself a loser, but for the sake of arguments, you know what I'm talking about. Calling you a loser. Don't take it personally. Not talking about Duke here. I'm speaking in the abstract. Of course you're some loser. And everybody treats you like a loser. And then so you assume everybody is being treated like a loser. But that's not true, man. Do you know who some of the kindest people are that you'll ever meet? Fucking gorgeous chicks. Really? Yeah. Gorgeous chicks. Super high status, attractive man. You ever meet like Jeff Bezos? He's probably going to be the most charming person you've ever met. You know why? Because they can afford to be. They don't have to be mean to anybody. They don't need to cut anybody else down. What the fuck are you going to do that a hot chick is going to feel threatened by? Nothing. Nothing. So of course they're kind. They can afford it. That's another reason why people talk about kindness as the most attractive trait. It kind of is, only because it is an abundance signal. I don't need to be threatened by anybody here. So I can be charming and I can be kind. You can have an edge to you too, but you don't have to. You can go either way. You can have an edge. You can be like a dickhead Rock, and you could be like a very kind The Rock, but either way. Ooh, I like this one though. Swag is everybody but talking. Or everything but talking. Anyways, where did I leave off? Oh yeah, this one. So we're going to finish this thought and we're going to get to the super chats and all that. So what game is it's a filtering mechanism. You act charming to anybody, it doesn't matter. If she's the fat chick in the group, if she's the old chick at the park, if she's the ugly one, if she's the wingman, if she's the married girl, charming, you're a little flirtatious. I'm like that too. If it's the kids, I'll treat everybody the same. You wouldn't believe how much, like, if you run into like your friends and they have their kids with you and it's like a 9-year-old daughter, and you like just charm her a little bit, and she's like, oh, it makes her day. She thinks it's the greatest. Oh, people are paying attention and liking me. They giggle, and you move on with your day. They're like, I like Uncle Ryan. He's great. And they're like, you're only saying that because he bought you candy. It's like, no, he's just cool. Or your nieces or your nephews. I bet you. See, Aaron Clary's got swag because he's always talking about his nieces and nephews, and they fucking love Uncle Aaron. They think he's the greatest thing ever. You know why? Because he's got swag. The kind of swag that an 8-year-old can appreciate. Same thing. Old ladies. A lot of guys, too. When you're first teaching like them to do like a little bit of like charisma or game or openers and that, they're like, and then he's like, I freeze. I get in front of a chick and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. And I get distracted. And it's because you're intimidated. And it's fine. Practice on some old people first. Why? It's because nobody in their right mind learning game wants to fuck a 65-year-old. And she knows that too, but they'll still like playing the game because every girl likes to feel special and you like to feel practiced. So you just make everybody's day better. Well, that's rather manipulated, isn't it? Yeah, everybody gets what they want. Oh my God, how horrible is that? She feels great. You feel better about yourself. You get your shit together. Because here's what you always learn in stressful situations. And let's face it, one of the funnest parts about, and this is the only thing I really miss about being single, is that butterfly in the stomach feeling when you're approaching a girl. I like it. And I know sometimes it's like, oh, I just don't feel anything anymore. Like, you poor bastard. I enjoy that there's always that little bit of uncertainty, that little bit of like your nerves just going a little bit. I love it. Don't show it off as like I'm nervous about it, but it's just like feeling alive. It's like doing a line of Coke, a jolt of coffee, a game of Modern Warfare 2 from like 2004. You know what I mean? You can't beat that shit, and I would hate to lose that. But yeah, everybody gets what they want. Everybody feels good about themselves. Oh my God, this is horrible. Well, some people feel really bad and anxious about themselves. Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sexual desire comes at the tail end of anxiety. Every girl ever who's ever slept with you has had a feeling of anxiety about losing something. Losing access to a high status man, losing out to her friend, the ping of jealousy from an ex-boyfriend or something. Like, there's always some anxiety that comes in there. And you'll notice there's like a correlation between the amount of anxiety at first to the amount of sexual enthusiasm at the end. What about bipolar chicks? So you mean to tell me the craziest chicks with the highest emotional variance tend to also be the best at bed? It's not an accident. So the whole point of game is just to filter for people, is feeling people out. What kind of person are you when I make you feel really good about yourself by just being around me, by signaling all the things you find attractive. If you want to know a male equivalent of this, how do you feel when a girl with gigantic, perfect tits walks into the room in a revealing dress? You probably feel pretty fucking good about yourself. You probably stand up straight or pick out your chest, don't you? When she asks you questions, you probably lower your voice to sound a little bit more masculine. Hey, how's it going? You probably do that fucking hey. I bet you, don't you? What did she do? Oh, she has girl game. What's girl game? Look hot, be available. No shit. Or what's the Rolo's one? Be available, bring beer. My God, you see that girl with the amazing rack cocked in with a 6-pack of Pabst? She's talking to me? Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, buddy, what do you do? Guy's sitting there, he's got a smile, he can't get it off his face. What, do you think she manipulated? I mean, she ran good game. You could do that to somebody else. Made you feel better about yourself, didn't you? Makes her feel better about being good at game. Why don't you do the same? Make everybody else feel good about themselves. And you know what? You're not doing it with any expectations either. This is where the validation seeking thing comes from. If I'm doing that because I want you to sleep with me, people kind of feel it out. They can usually tell because, like, this stuff is always good, but you don't want to be too good. This is a stupid, convoluted version of this, but do you ever read those stupid Reddit threads where somebody's like, am I the asshole, or some black pill, and stop calling yourselves that, just at least call yourselves the He-Man Woman Haters Club, because, like, He-Man, you know, the ones where they're like, yeah, I was dating a guy, and the girl's telling the story, and I was dating a guy, and she goes down through the entire checklist of, like, MGTOW concerns. It's like, yeah, I thought it was great, but I met a friend of his that made more money, and he wasn't looks matched to me, and it, like, the lingo is right, and everything, and he's just like, you know what, he's telling me this story because it's what I want to hear, and you kind of know it's fake. It's the same thing there. If you're seeking validation, people can always feel it out eventually. There's like, now sometimes people just go with it, like a lot of cock teases do that. They're basically pandering. But the guy is so desperate for attention, he'll take it. He's like, I feel it's good enough, and he lies to himself. But again, manipulation and conning only work on the greedy and the selfish and the scared. The guy's scared of rejection, so when a girl's giving him a whiff, of course he's going to latch onto it. He knows it's fake in his heart of hearts, but he convinces himself it's not. Ugh, it's been 5 years, but I'm so close. So close. It's like, yeah. Pussy ain't locked that tight, dude. I think ultimately people forget about that when it comes to game. It's not about getting what you want. It's about being what everybody likes, like being valuable. And attention is absolutely valuable. Pathos is absolutely valuable. And then once you've got that group of people that enjoy what you're putting out, then you get to filter between them on what do I want. It's a 2-stage process. So Free Gender's got another thing here. Hold on a second here. I did an experiment with birds. Do you mean like birds in the British sense of the word or the American sense of the word? Alphas naturally have yellow feathers. They painted beta birds yellow. The alphas beat the crap out of them. Next day, the betas got a testosterone shot. Then they walked around with swagger and fooled everybody. Maybe. Here's the thing, though. I hate to be dismissive, but like other than as an illustrative example to prove a point, I hate research as like the authority, if that makes sense. Like, I reference studies in that occasionally, but it's mostly because I can already make the point in a way that you and I will understand and kind of understand and see in our own lives. The study is mostly there just as like a reinforcement thing. It's like, yeah, and then, you know, because I got to tell a story. That's why Learned Helplessness, the dogs, is such a great story, because you can picture what the dogs are doing in that story. You understand why they're doing it. Whether the research is perfectly done or not is irrelevant. Because we don't actually think in stats and studies and diagrams. We think in stories. And the stories have to map to real life so they're more believable. That's the problem, though. They're more believable with people who experience the real things. And the whole point of, like, teaching game or learning game or even talking about game is teaching it to people who don't have that frame of reference. So it's like, how do you tell a story to somebody who has no frame of reference for the story you're telling? Research can kind of help bridge that gap in an objective process has looked into this and agrees with the findings. But again, there's really no experience for. That's why I could talk about swag for years, and then New can come in with like a 2-word thing. Cat reading newspaper. I should go see He-Man today. I have heard not good things, but I have also learned that hearing not good things from Twitter is not an indication of the success or failure of anything, because everybody on Twitter is like a critical drinker wannabe. All they want to do is bitch and moan. They bitched and moaned a lot about Barbie, and I found Barbie fucking awesome. But I also know that the people who made Barbie did not want it to be fucking awesome. They thought they were making fun of me. To which I was like, they did it so well, it now comes across as over-the-top satire that I can still get into. What do they call that? The Homelander effect? The Rorschach effect? When they try to make like an over-the-top caricature of conservative masculine things, and this will make fun. Everybody hates this, and everybody's like, dude, that's awesome. No, you don't understand. We're making fun of you. Well, you're doing good. I like it. We can laugh at ourselves. Also, if one word can change your swagger, I really believe in NLP now. I mean, it does and it doesn't. It can. I guess that's the thing. In the same way that I was saying game filters for people who are down with you, manipulation filters for people who are insecure and looking for validation, if that makes sense. So yeah, one word can change your swagger if you don't have real swag, if it's fake swag. It's kind of where I was going with the old Don Draper article that I wrote about in Frame. If you guys don't remember that, it's an easy story to understand what I mean when I talk about narcissistic fantasies. If you don't know, Mad Men shows came out in the 2010s. Stars, it's about a character called Don Draper. He's slick, he's suave, he's savvy, all the girls want him, all the guys want to be him, that kind of thing. Turns out the character is actually a character called Dick Whitman. And the thing about Dick Whitman is he was raised by hookers. He's like what you would think of now as you call yourself a black pill guy, why are you using the chart? At least call yourself the He-Man Women Haters Club because, He-Man. And so what would happen is in the show, anytime a character would say, you're not Don Draper, you're actually Dick Whitman, he'd turn into a bubbling mess because he's been found out. Now, this was played by a guy called John Hamm. And if you ever went to John Hamm and said, you're not actually Don Draper, you're actually John Hamm, the actor, he'd be like, of course I am. Are you fucking stupid? Now, the difference between the same guy being called Don Draper kind of illustrates what I'm talking about here. And the idea is you want to be John Hamm. He's not the greatest thing ever. He's an actor. He's got status. He's tall. He's attractive. That's all well and good. He's not the Dick Whitman. He's not faking the part. He's acting. That's his job. It's supposed to job. It's like charisma and charm and swag and game. Of course. And it's like, yeah, your wife accused you. Are you flirting with that chick? I flirt with everybody, man. I don't know what you want from me. That's the John Hamm approach. Meanwhile, you got the Dick Whitman's guys like, were you flirting with that girl? Well, no, I would never. You're the best one for me. And just goes over the top because he's been found out. That's kind of one of those little tells that you can tell when somebody doesn't have swag, for example. How does he handle being rattled? How does he handle when you rattle his cage a little bit? He doesn't handle it well. Let me tell you. He doesn't handle it well. Artist can look at a pretty girl and see the old woman she'll become. A better artist can look at a woman and see the pretty girl she used to be. I must not be a good... Actually, to be fair, I have a weird one where, like, I'm not good at telling how old people are. I'm just not. And a lot of time there's, like, these young hot chicks, and all I see is, like, the 40-year-old spinster with the flower hands. And so that kind of stuff turns me off, but it's very strange. Which I guess helped me. I have like a certain obliviousness to things that I really shouldn't, which has prevented me from having a lot of like anxiety around things that I really shouldn't, but most guys do. Having said that, a certain appreciation for those small nuances would probably be a good thing to have. Jeez. See, now like Duke, I said I wasn't going to drop this with you, but like you're making it too easy for me to make content out of this. People are generally nice to me. It's me who becomes a stunted rock and not knowing how to act. See what I mean though? They don't have to throw a sideways word at you. They can be nice to you too, and it completely changes who you are. As soon as they're nice to me, I become a stunted rock. Well, like, Who were you before they were nice to you? Why can't you just stay as that guy? Why do you have to change everything about yourself because somebody says a compliment or an insult? As soon as they interact with you, you freeze out. That's a frame thing, sir. That's not game. Game would be, what the fuck do I say now? That's what game is. What do I do now? Have an idea what to do now. And look, everybody makes fun of the old pickup artists. I get it. Mystery looked like an LA magician from the 90s, mostly because he was an LA magician from the 90s. But you gotta admit, he knew what he was doing. He had charm. He had swag. And he wrote it down. That's the best part. He, Neil Strauss, the goofy looking brown guy who used to wear t-shirts over top of dress shirts, which, yes, that was a 2000s look. I can't explain it. You just have to believe me. And RSD, Owen, and Tyler. One looks like the drug dealer friend you had from high school, and the other one looks like the fat friend from high school. And all four of them were just swimming in poon, dressed like fucking clowns. You know why? Because they had game. And you know what else why? They read it down so that way you could have game too. And what I loved the most about it is they were just watching successful guys in the LA club scene doing successful guy shit. And they wrote down everything he did. Kind of like the Joker when he wrote down the jokes. Say penis, have them laugh, wait 3 seconds. And the jokes were all off. But that's the thing. When you get like 5, 6, 12 guys writing shit down, you kind of get a better approximation of the truth. That's why every choir sounds good. Everybody's off key in their own little way, and it kind of goes together at the end. And then they would just do the same thing the Red Pill guys do. They just kind of find patterns. Oh, it's interesting. The guys who start talking to women always kind of do these things here, so let's make that into a system. And they made it into a system. And I can't believe there's a system. It's like, well, there's a system for everything. If you want to learn to knit, there's a system in knitting. Why does fucking get to be the only place where, no, you have to like randomly decide for you? Like, no. Everything has a system. Everything has a system. And it's not a perfect system. It doesn't encapsulate the entirety of the human experience and like, well, I didn't have to do any of this. Like, maybe you didn't. But with Duke, he's talking about that. As soon as they're nice to me, I freeze up. Well, this is what the scripted game is for. It gives you an idea. Like, you freeze up because you don't know what to do, and you hit fight or flight. Well, what happens if you knew what to do? What happens if you knew how to do a good icebreaker? Somebody's acting nice to you. What do you say from there? How do you tell a story with displays of higher value? Why would you even want to do that? Wow, I really like this girl, and she really wants to sleep with me. What should I do now? Well, how about getting your logistics in order? What's logistics? That's exactly what I'm talking about. 3 venue switches, and a plausible excuse to get home. Can you feed my fish? There's little models for all of this shit there, and it's all part of game. Game is more than just what you say. It's about like what's behind what you're saying. Yeah, if you can figure out a way, and they wrote down a way to go from just talking to a girl you randomly met to have an excuse to go back to your place that she can tell her friends, oh, we just went back to have a coffee or whatever, and is like plausible, lets her have that little lie, lets everybody know, I'm not a slut, I just went back to his place and we played with his Warhammer figurines. And the girls are like, yeah, I always play with Warhammer too, I can see that. That's a bad example because no chicks know what fucking Warhammer is, but you get what I'm saying. You put all this stuff together, it's game. And these guys kind of wrote it all down, and I treat it like training wheels, like scaffolding. It's scaffolding in the sense that you don't know, like there's this big nebulous cloud, this black box of like people having sex that barely know each other. And you don't know how it works. You just see people going in on one side and nuts leaving in on the other side. And you're like, I don't get it. And so they put a little framework in there. It's like, well, here, you could do all kinds of things, but just make sure, for an opener, you want to make sure that you're showing them you're not wasting your time. You give them something like a good hook, and then they can talk about things. Then you go leave with your friends. And then this phase here is about where you talk with them and they're trying to suss out what kind of person you are and your charm and your charisma. Here's some stories to make you sound charming. Here's some ways to display your value without having to just brag about yourself. Fits them in a story. Lets people make judgments about you. And you may not know how to tell a story yet, so here's some stories. Start with these ones. Put your personal details in there, but eventually you're going to have to learn to make your own. And then here's the way that you go from there to like, this is how you touch her when you show you're just being friendly, to I think we're getting hot and heavy, to like, yeah, we're definitely going to sleep together tonight. Here's a gradation. So you don't start with just like groping a girl's tits when you first met her. Maybe now it's just you touch her arm briefly or put a hand on the small of her back when you're walking through a crowd. And it was like, and it's just everything. And then what you'll notice, at least what I noticed back in the day when I was doing it, is that you're getting good at certain things and you're bad at certain things. I was always great at openers. I was always great at DHV stories and all that stuff. The one thing I was always bad at was the logistics of going from the touching to the sleeping with after. And then I had to put work. And to be honest, my work was like I had to move. I lived at the time in this place, Admiral's Road in Victoria, which if you don't know, Admiral's Road is like Native Alley and is right by the military base. I don't know how better to describe it there, but there's a stigma. So I moved to a place called Vic West, and Vic West is just across the gorge from downtown. You can walk across like the waterfront to get home, and the way cabs are. I've told the story before, so I'm not going to mix it there. But the point is, yeah, I saw where my weak spot was, going from being charming at the bar to being charming at my house, and so we fucking work on that. And then once I kind of got all the steps together and I was really good at the game, I was finding I was skipping a lot of steps with girls. It was literally this one girl, and I don't even remember which one it was. I just remember the lines, like, you relax, you don't have to try so hard. And I remember when they told me that, it was like they said I just like, weight lifted off my shoulders. Because I was so hyper fixated on the game part of it that I wasn't focused on just enjoying the person in front of me. But I didn't know, and I couldn't get there until I got hyper fixated on this stuff. And it's the same thing with game and charm and charisma and holding your frame. And that's why all of this stuff sounds unattractive and all of this stuff sounds autistic, because that's how you always sound like a retard when you're teaching people the obvious. You can go to anything. If you're teaching me the rules of Warhammer, tabletop games, you probably sound like a fucking moron. But I don't know anything about Warhammer tabletop games. I don't know what the dice are for. You're going to have to explain it to me. And the books, I haven't read any of the books. I've just watched a couple videos on the Emperor. I get it. I know. But then once I understand it, it's like, whatever. And maybe we'll have some table rules. You know, to save some time, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Like, yeah, it sounds good. I don't want to spend 8 hours playing Warhammer, you know? Anyways, Meek Art has a super chat in the comments. Why do you guys always got to make me start hunting for shit? Guys, Christ. I don't know if you have a thing in the comments. Did you put it after? Oh, there it is. All right. Buddy of mine's dad passed away. I'm going to the funeral today. We're both mid-20s. His dad was in his 50s. Any advice? This is my first time going to a funeral like this. Well, I mean, going to your dad's funeral, for him, my advice when I went to my dad's funeral is just to understand that everybody is not going to be able to hold it together. And you're going to feel like you need to hold it together, which you kind of do. So if you can't hold it together, just go find a spot, do your thing. Come back when you get your composure. It's the better you're able to keep your composure in front of other people, the better they're able to feel about the whole experience. The one thing I saw at my dad's funeral was definitely weird is like, it was open casket and I had to, like, it didn't really sink in for me till I touched him. And it was just like, it didn't feel like a person anymore. It just felt like a body. And it was like, I don't know if that's important. I don't know if that's needed. But there's that one there. If you're going to give a speech, just keep it simple. Say nice things about them. Say what you remember that's well about them. Tell everybody things are going to be all right, essentially. Because I don't know. Chesty has a great one about showing up to his friend's funeral, or a friend's child's funeral, like their child had died. And the women who had gone to that funeral were absolutely fucking bitches. Like, some of the other women were walking up to the girl and basically flexing on her that they still have their kids, and it was just insensitive as shit. And they went onto the stage, talked about how great their kids were, not realizing that the fucking widowed mom, or I guess, what's it called when you lose a child? Not a widow, but I don't know what else the word is. Talking to the widowed one, basically rubbing it in her face, and it was just... And then Chesty and then the guys, all they knew how to say was like, dude, I don't know. I have nothing. I'm here if you need me. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, just say less. Just say less. Just be there for them. And don't make him uncomfortable. Like, don't say shit that you know baits him into an emotional reaction. Don't start going all waxing nostalgic and shit like that. Just say less. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah. You got a kink for approach anxiety? I got a kink for anxiety, man. When I was a kid, I used to love horror movies because I used to feel scared. I still remember like the scariest thing I'd ever seen was Nightmare on Elm Street 2 when Freddy Krueger came into real life and started stabbing all these kids at the pool. Terrified me. Or RoboCop 2, that scene where the fake RoboCop was killing all those people in the warehouse. Oh, fucking anxiety creating. Anyways, then I grow up and like movies don't scare me anymore. Like jump scares, but those aren't scares. So I don't get scared over things anymore. I don't get anxious over things. So I kind of crave something that can give you a little bit of that sense, right? It's just nice to feel things. So yeah, you can call it a kink if you want to. Yeah, the fact you're being there for your buddy is the most important thing. Oh, one thing I forgot to add to this. So if he looks like he's cracking, if you can step in, like when somebody's telling him some shit and you can tell it's kind of baiting him into reacting, and you can always just step in and like, thank you very much for your things, you know, take care. Just do the stuff so he doesn't have to. Even if he doesn't say it, he'll probably appreciate it. And you should see her Zimas. Thanks for the bit of the wake-up call. My game is garbage and nothing else matters if you're average looking. Well, nothing else matters if at all. Ultimately, it's game. Game is more than just like getting laid. Game is the human condition. Game is understanding. Look, they've known this since like ancient Greek times. You ever see the things pathos, logos, ethos? It's the rules of rhetoric, and that's if you want to be persuasive in an audience and that sort of thing. The idea of pathos, or no, ethos, which is status. Who's the most authoritative person here? And largely, that's something you don't need to work on because that's just something you are from the evolution of the things you do. You become the CEO of your own company. You have a status. You have an ethos within that status. You're president of the United States. You have an ethos within America. You become the greatest Canadian. You have an ethos to other people who suck dick and love government money. Or Indian. So you don't have to work on that. But then pathos is the emotionality of, and I don't even know if that's a word, but the way you make people feel. If you're able to tell a story that gets somebody hooked from start to finish, like, actually, know a good example of this one? My girl and I, when we watch YouTube, it's almost always as a second screen activity because most people are boring. But there was a few videos I remember that worked really well. One was from, and I'm going to show you this as like the example of the disparity in the types of stories. One was from a guy who played a game called Rust called Wellen. And the other one was internet historian talking about a guy in Kentucky who was caught in a cave. Both of those stories were like 45 minutes long. And we watched the entire thing 100% focused. Yeah, the one was just talking about Rust, which is kind of like cavemen on an island battle royale, basically, right? Had us hooked from start to finish. He was able to build anxiety, remove anxiety, tension, and it kind of culminated. It was actually funny. It culminated in he was raiding somebody else's base for resources. They locked him inside, and they were going to get some other weapons to come in and kill him. And then he was trapped, and he didn't know what he would do. And right at the nick of time, his friend came in with like one of those like one-seater helicopters and like basically ran a 9/11 into the group and got his ass out of there. Like threw down a missile, came in, saved his life. It was very, very entertaining. It was very good storytelling based on gameplay of all things. And then the internet historian guy talking about the cave, and there was some drama about that, but it was basically just trying to find out, like, hopefully this guy survived. He died. 2 weeks he died in that cave. I'll just let you know. He died in that cave, but they had like a light bulb they had given to him so he could see in there. And I guess the thing ran out of power and energy, but his heart rate or something like that was able to keep a little bit of charge in the wire so they could tell when he was alive because the wire was still like on or something. Very, very good ones. Game matters for them because they're getting like millions of views off of this stuff. And yeah, it's like mistakes. And more often than not, your mistakes are fairly simple mistakes. Mistakes are not reading the situation properly, saying something awkward. Like, yeah, I get it. I sell a lot of dick jokes. I'm very crass. I'm very argumentative. I swear like a sailor, and I hate that millennial TV people are ruining cussing. I hate how I want to sound blue collar and tough, so I'm going to add fucks in there. It's like, that's not why you swear. You swear for emphasis, not for status, you damn ass. But that's the other point. It's like they're doing it as a validation-seeking thing. Yeah, so the wake-up call. And it's true. And sometimes the best game is not saying anything at all. Dude, there's so... Especially with women. Do you ever see those things where the guys are talking about the best Valentine's Day and Christmas game is just to go out? Because any girl who's at the bar by herself on Christmas or Valentine's Day is just, like, desperate and lonely. And more often than not, you don't have to say anything. Just, hey, how you doing? And then they'll start telling you stuff. And just listen. Listen and don't judge. It's the easiest game ever. It's the fish in the barrel game. I don't know what the name of it is. That's what I'm calling it. Where it's like, I am lonely. I want to feel loved. You're the most interesting guy so far. And you didn't say anything. You just let them talk about all this stuff. And nobody ever listens to them and nobody talks to them. So you let them talk. And you just don't judge. It's fucking amazing. So a lot of the times it's just like being able to have the social awareness to understand the dynamic at play here. And there's a case to be made that frame control, the old pickup term frame control, is about asserting your room to their room. When it's like, read the room. Well, whose room? Mine or hers? Frame control is about making yours. But that's usually in manufactured situations like the bar and that. A lot of the times it's just listen to other people. But sometimes it's about you want to be aggressive. Maybe the girl likes being timid, likes being chased. So yeah, you having a more aggressive game works. Maybe she's like a hood chick, a hood rat. And hood rats like for you to be hood people. They don't want you to be kind of nice because they'll eat you alive. So you had game. It was just probably bad. Like there's things you say, there's scripts you use. I mean, and you joke, Matt. I have done this before. Not this specifically, but this. Did I ever tell you that story in Florida at the convention shall be named? Like, my opening line to a girl was calling her a cunt. Oh, it was so funny, too, because it was like all the convention guys were there, and they were like, all the artists were teaching them things, and like, this is how you run up at the game, and they were chatting this girl up, and oh, she was getting gassed. A whole group of 12 guys just gawking at her. And I was talking with this other group with like Hunter Drew and a bunch of them. I was like, guys, watch this. And I could hear her accent. She was Australian. So I walked up and called her a cunt. And everybody was like, what the hell? You can't do that. And she just laughed and high-fived. And we're like, yeah, how's it going? And then we started chatting for a bit. And it was like, how the hell did you do that? So you got to have knowledge, man. The first thing you got to understand in Australia, calling somebody a cunt is like saying hello. It's not like America where basically you're calling them the devil. Little things like that. And sometimes just knowing it makes all the difference. Anyways, let's get scrolled down here. Thank you guys for checking on chat. I've been attempting to make content, and I've never objectively seen my speaking mannerisms outside of the mirror, and I've got work to do. It's a great way to improve how you present yourself. Yeah, it's funny. When we had our PLQ training, which is primary leadership qualifications, it's the course you take before you become your first level of management in the military. One of the things you do is they have you write and prepare a speech on something. I think mine was on, what the heck are they called? Checkpoints. Checkpoint security. That was the one. I still remember the thing about the New Jersey F-stops. The big cement pillars. The whole point was like, yeah, you're going to give a speech, but mostly that stuff's written out. It was for you to watch everybody else and them to watch you, and you're supposed to give them their tells. What are the things that you do that distract me from your content? Some people, it's like they hold pens, they fiddle out in their hums. Some people, they always point here. Sometimes it's a thing they say. Maybe they and they too much. Everybody does something. You look at your feet. You hide behind the podium. You're not presenting yourself. You pace too fast. You speak too fast. You speak too slow. There's always something. And it's very easy because even if people don't know what a perfect speaker mannerism looks like, they always know when you're doing something off-putting. So it's very easy for them to say it. And then they would basically give you feedback. All right, here's the things that you do during your teaching that are distracting. And so, yeah. Hell, we used to have jokes. I remember on deployment, my combat officer, Brad, every time we heard his thing, we used to have like a running gag. Like, how many times does he say I think his record was something like 42 in a 3-minute briefing. And then he found out we used to do this to him, all the communicators, and he laughed. So like he would finish his morning brief or evening brief or whatever. And he goes, "How'd I do?" I'm like, 13, sir. He's like, damn it. It was always funny. But yeah, like you'll notice this too, Liminal, when you first do online content creation. Everybody thinks it's like whatever, you just get in front of the camera and speak. But it's hard. The first time you have to do a 2-hour Zoom meeting and you're in charge, or you have to give a lecture, or you have to give a piece of content out there, or heaven forbid, you have to record your own audiobook or do a video on YouTube. It is deceptively difficult because there is a set of skills you need. Like I had to relearn how to talk. I didn't know how to speak until I had to record an 8-hour audiobook. And then I realized, my God, after 3 hours of this, just hoarse, thin. I always heard them say, speak out of your diaphragm. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell now. Like even now I'm speaking a little bit too much out of my throat, and I know I'm not going to be able to keep this up for another 2 hours. But yeah, I had to learn how to speak again. Little things. And it helps. And that problem is like you get too good at it. It makes you sound like a radio voice. So you have to understand what makes you too perfect at speaking. And I think dial it back a little bit so you don't sound like a radio personality, 2FM, whatever. Because then you just sound inauthentic and everybody's like, he sounds too professional. You need a little bit of jank in your stuff, right? Didn't Mystery have a meltdown in the end? Oh, yeah, he totally did. Well, it was like depression or something like that, but... And that's always the case to be made. Like, look, when it comes to, like, Game or Red Pill or any of this stuff, we're not catching winners. If you're crushing it in life, you don't generally go looking for instructions in life. You're going to get all types. And some people are really good at game. Some people are really bad at game. Some people are good at living life. Some people are bad at living life. And those two things are not as connected as you think. So yeah, he was really good at the game side of things. Really bad at his own, what RSD would call inner game. Which I would call just, being adjusted, having frame. And that's fine. It just, you use that to temper your impression of what he was doing. Like there's some things he was doing, you can kind of tell it's because he's a sad little man who just wants to be loved. So you kind of like, yeah, maybe I don't need to adopt those so hard. And like, what specifics am I talking about? It's been a while since I've done the mystery stuff. I can't tell you anymore. I just know that they're there. You fucking liar. Look at this shit. I was about to sit here and tell you like a nice heartfelt thing about learning it. Then I get, you look younger with longer hair and a clean shave. You fit right in with the Zoomers. So fuck you, lying asshole. First off, I barely fit with the millennials, being a millennial. I'm part of that random generation, that micro generation they put in the middle between Gen X and millennials, the Z-lennials or whatever they call it, because of course we're narcissistic enough. We need our own fucking label. Or I always refer to it as like the Oregon Trail generation, because we were the ones that used to play with Apple IIs, the green screen with the turtle and Oregon Trail and discs. We were raised without the internet, but became young adults with the internet. So we're kind of like Blade, walk in the sunshine, all cool. Yeah, I heard a dude at work ask a girl if she had a dog. It gets weird when you already know where it's going. Yeah, well, I mean, so there's like a good point too on games. Sometimes your stuff is so derivative, people kind of know it already. And that can either work for or against you. If somebody doesn't, it's going to be weird to word it this way, but if somebody's not feeling your vibe, if they kind of know where you're going with this one, they would rather just skip to the end and say, no, thank you. Like, you ever seen a guy trying to sell you something? He's like, that guy on the street who's always at some stupid charity NGO. It's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute about Israel? And you're like, relax, man, I'm good. But they always have like a preamble first that you're kind of like trying to be nice and you listen. It's like, I'm waiting for my turn to say no, thank you. And it just drags on for too long. In that sense, yes. It can be awkward when you already know where it's going. At the same time, if you're somebody that's into it, it's like wrestling's a perfect example. You ever see WrestleMania? Somebody's fighting Hulk Hogan. and they're beating the shit out of Hulk Hogan, and you're like, I know where this is going. They're going to hit him that one time too many. He's going to get up, get that fucking finger in their face. You're fucked up now, boy. He's going to start listening to the crowd. He's going to start bam, bam, turnbuckle, boom, leg drop, out. Then flex for the camera for 20 minutes while everybody's snapping photography. Like, I know how that game's going, but I love it every goddamn time. Every goddamn time. I'm like, that is fucking awesome. And so yeah, if you get good game and people know where it's going, it's good in the sense that if you're watching their body language, you can tell, is this one into you or not? And this is where, like, one of the other things where they were talking about in the old mystery stuff is looking for signals of interest, indicators of interest and indicators of disinterest, which I find everybody loves IOIs. Nobody ever talks about IODs. The indicators of disinterest were great. Save Me Eyes was probably the one thing, if you take nothing else, like, I don't want to learn shit from mystery, that's fine. Learn IODs. What are IODs? Little things. The Save Me Eyes, or Help Me Eyes, I think they called it. You ever see this where you're talking to somebody and they start looking around for other people, but you keep talking because you're not even paying attention, you're just in your own little world? Those are Help Me Eyes or Save Me Eyes. That is somebody looking for somebody to come in and break up the conversation. You would be surprised how many guys keep an eye out for Save Me Eyes and then come in and swoop in. And that's like so much conflict. That's what they used to call it, getting A-mogged. Or mogged, I guess is what the kids call it now. Because no A for the Z's. Yeah, A-mogged. It's like, I was working the game, man, and you come in, you swooped in there. It's like, yeah, she had like the eyes of like, dude, I will latch onto you if you just get me out of this conversation. It's not my fault to understand the game better. What are other examples? Turning away from you, like the body language turning away from you, closing up, all that kind of shit. Talking about how you have to work in the morning, you're very tired. Oh, I have a boyfriend, shit like that. All indicators of disinterest. And just kind of the one thing that's nice about a scripted game that maybe feels a little bit derivative is you can tell if somebody is playing along that these are indicators of interest and not disinterest. Whereas if you can tell they're just waiting to get their no thank you in, that's an indicator of disinterest. It's probably pretty good. But again, that's with everything here, right? It's all contextual. It's all you understanding this interplay, because there's like an infinite... Yeah, there's maybe only a couple simple type of interactions. Interest, disinterest, ambivalence, competition. But the way they interact could be ultimately in infinite ways. Yeah, cheers to you too. Black Crown and bookstores everywhere. Is that the real Aaron Clary? I don't think so, because I would have given him a wrench. Maybe it is him. He gives me those stupid numbers. Hold on a sec, Aaron. Maybe Aaron. Now I gotta know. This fake Aaron Clary. Thank you for the super chat anyway, man. You're one of the few channels that isn't AI, slop, shock, jock, oh my god, slop. When are we hiking again? Well, thank you, fake Aaron Clary. I don't think we are going to be hiking. Oh, give me that. Stop clicking that. It keeps doing this stupid thing now. Oh, that's why. It's got everything selected. I can fix this. There we go. Thanks. Sorry, I know it's a tough one. Don't be sorry. Dude, I was 17 when he died. That was like a long time ago. It's not even hard. It's just, it's like a sincere thing. And you know me, I like to be sincere, but not too sincere, so. It's one of the few things I'm really good with, is understanding that, so. But yeah, don't be sorry. Unless you murdered him, don't be sorry. Bitcoin's down 50%. Well, I have a theory on that too, right? With Bitcoin being down, it's because the stock market is up. And I've always thought about Bitcoin as it's this weird place where it's a hedge against the economy, but because it relies on the economy so much that it's almost like a mental hedge, not an actual physical hedge. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Because, like, if the economy crashes and Bitcoin goes to the ultimate roof because it's the best store of cash, the power grid goes out and everybody loses all their coins anyway because all the ledgers get shut down. Right? So then it becomes useless. So I always just find that funny that if it becomes too good, it has its own kill switch. But the less you trust the economy, and it's like similar to gold in that respect, the less you trust the US dollar, the better Bitcoin tends to do. And right now, war is always good for the economy. So I think people are taking money out of Bitcoin and they're putting it into stocks because the stock market did a rally. Even in Canada, did a rally. Why is Canada's stock market rallying? We got no reason for that. And I think it's just people literally taking their things out of Bitcoin and putting it in there. That's my theory anyway. As for if it's a good idea to buy or not, I don't know. I have a very weird investment strategy on mine. I have like a couple stocks that I've been watching for years, and I kind of get the feel for their ceilings and their floors, and they're moderately volatile. So I always just wait for low points and invest and then sell at high points. And I never sell it at the peak, but I always just like aim for 10%. If I could pull 10%, I'll pull it out then. Oh, it went up 20%. That's fine. Because I've seen a bunch of times that it stops at 11% and then drops to -5. So I'm like, I'm not greedy. Have you read Something's Missing yet? Also, same Arthur. Story Worther by Matthew Diggs teaches you how to tell excellent stories. I have not. Something's Missing yet. Give me a sec. Let me pull this up. I swear to God, if you have me looking up porn, I'll be so angry. Something's Missing, a novel, Dix Matthew books. I think this is the one. Matthew Diggs. Oh, Matthew Dix. Story of an obsessive-compulsive housebreaker whose every waking moment is jam-packed with finicky clockwork ritual. This seems like a book. Here's the weirdest thing, man. He's charging $13.99 for his Kindle book, which is strange. Does he have a special deal? So if you guys don't know, here's how Kindle pricing works, which is, I never wanted to know this, but now I do. Kindle is actually really good about locking books into a certain price, and they do that with the royalties. So for example, if you ever wondered why when I buy a Kindle book, it's always $3.99 or $9.99. This is why. It is because you can get either there's a track for a 35% royalty and a track for a 70% royalty. The 70% royalty you need to charge between $2.99 and $9.99. So you do that, you can do that. If you charge outside of that, you do more. The way this manifests is that people don't sell 99-cent books because then you're just getting like nothing for it. Unless you do it for a sale, but those people aren't very smart anyway. And if you want to charge more than $9.99, you have to charge twice as much. So you have to charge $20 to make as much money as you would by charging $10. So if you want to charge more, you actually have to charge a lot more, because then you have to charge like $25 or $30 to make any more money than you would have charging it by $9. And that's a giant that's a 3 times gap. So when I see things like outpriced outside of it, now granted that could be because I'm in Canada, that could be an exchange rate thing, but it is interesting. But I would say for, oh wait, I forgot to put up the, no, it's up. Oh, that's why. I keep slipping between the live stream thing and the StreamYard thing. Best way to learn stories, I've found, you can read stories and that's fine, but just have a friend who's good at telling stories. There's always one. There's always somebody who's got the gift of gab and the silver tongue. Just hang around him. Listen to how he tells stories. If you have somebody charming the pants off of you with their riz or their swag, just fucking watch and learn, man. You can't help but pick up mannerisms. You can't help but pick this stuff up. The way he speaks, the way he holds himself, just watch and learn. And then you eventually start telling your own stories. And sometimes the best stories are self-deprecating. I know it's like the red pill, like the rule of Tomassi is never self-deprecate, but there's always a fake self-deprecation. Like my friend Jay, the one I was talking about, it's just funny as hell. We were out at the bar one Friday. We're after a sale. We're tired as shit. But, you know, who cares about being tired? You don't live forever. We're out at the bar. And we're just like enjoying ourselves, talking to girls. We'd always have a couple drinks on the rounds. All of a sudden we hear this girl, "Oh my God, it's you." And she comes running up to him. And this tiny little like 5'3" redhead, he's like 6'3", runs at him, jumps on him like a front backpack, like, you know those baby backpacks. She just did that and spider monkeyed around him. He's fucking hammered and top heavy, so he just boom lands on her flat, and she's fucking like a turtle. Funniest. I'm like, what the hell? And so we eventually figure out what's going on. We pull her off, and everybody has fun and laugh. And then her other friend, who's like the sober one, also like 6 feet tall, so she was tall too. And we're like, what the fuck was this? And then they start talking, and he's like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, why are you talking to me? Until eventually she's like, I was the one that signed your ass last month. And then he kind of sat. He's like, oh, wait a minute, I get it now. Oh shit! And he started telling me the story because I didn't know. It was one of those nights that we just kind of disappeared, and I lost track of him, and he lost track of me. I guess he went to this party, and he thought it'd be funny, and that if somebody would sign his ass with a marker, and I guess this chick dropped his pants so I could sign it. And, basically pants down an entire party with this one. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. But he was so hammered, he didn't know anything of it. So the next day he wakes up to go have a shower, and he's scrubbing himself, and he's like, what in the fuck? But the way he tells this story was just so funny because it's like, first off, it's self-deprecating, but it's not really. But it's more of like a surprising where like she helped him solve a mystery. And so she felt good about herself. He felt good about himself. And then the two of us that were just like bystanders, we felt good because we were putting together a mystery like Columbo. It was an amazing story. And it kind of helped me learn to tell better stories. Now, this particular story, did I tell it the best I could? Probably not, because I'm not trying to pick any of you up. Yeah. But no, I haven't read it. To be fair, I'm slowly getting through Camp of the Saints. I usually pick it up and read like a chapter or two a day, and there's like 50 chapters in it, so it's taking its sweet time. Plus, I had to read a bunch of Manosphere books that I haven't read in a while because I just did another I Hate Indie Stories series on my Substack, where I hit Paul Bauer's book, Things I Wish I'd Learned at 18, On Women by Jack Napier, Rich Cooper's new book, which, what the fuck was the name of it again? Hold on a second. Top Shelf Men. Top Shelf Men. And I know I'm missing one. Oh, Aaron Clary's new one, I Don't Do a Threesome with Jesus. So one thing I try to do, and with those, if you ever, like, go give it a read. It's a good one. Get it. It's there on Substack, but it's not so much, is the book good or is it bad, or do I like it or do I not like it? I think that doesn't do a service to anybody. Like, nobody gives a shit what my opinion on Jack's book is. But what I try to do is, like, what kind of book is it? Did it execute well on that? And what's the kind of person who would want to read it and who wouldn't want to read it? Which is funny, because I don't know if I'm speaking out of school here, but it's like, I always worry about people taking that as critique when I don't think it is critique at all. So, for example, with Jack's book, I kind of equated it to Meditations by Francois de la Rochefort. It's kind of like, it's got 100 pithy aphorisms in it. There's no narrative structure to it. It's just kind of like, here's 100 things of wisdom inside of a book, which ultimately it goes all the way back to like Marcus Aurelius. Now, what I found with On Women is it tended to be more of that format as opposed to something like Atomic Habits, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, those type of ones where they're also a self-help type book, but they have a narrative structure to them. I would argue Frame and Dread are like a narrative structure kind of aphorism book, where his is more of just like an aphorism book. Now, if you're looking for like great storytelling, you're probably not going to get that from On Women. But if you like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, if you like Meditations by Francois, or if you like, you know, those ones, you're going to love it because it's like a modern take on that genre, which isn't a critique. It's more so like, this is the kind of book that you're in for, so if this is the book you're going to like, you're going to like it. Rich's book, I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect him to do a second book, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. And it is so funny to hear how much he fucking hates the Manosphere in that book. And the part that I talked about it that made me laugh so much was, like, one of my favorite posters in the Married Red Pill was this guy who went by the handle of Fuck Married Red Pill. I was like, there's something about, like, the guy who hates the space the most is the best voice within it. Because you can tell there's, like, zero need to fit in with it. It's just, I don't give a shit. I don't even like these people, but his stuff is good. And I liked it because Like, all of his I hate the manosphere shit that's in there, I already know that. And I kind of agree with most of it anyway. And I know exactly what he's talking about, which is fine. So I'm kind of like, just gloss over that stuff. I'm like, whatever. I don't take it personal. And then when he's talking about how to build a business and how to, like, do that and how to handle divorces and stuff, it's just so funny in that he's kind of like Dr. Sean Smith and Robert Glover in that they are one of the better voices in the manosphere, but they hate the manosphere, won't associate with the manosphere, don't like the manosphere, and don't want to talk about the manosphere. They're the fuck MRPs of the manosphere, and it just makes I enjoy that. I kind of I want to lump myself in there, only I don't have as much fuck you guys as they do. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm not that good yet. And it's just funny because even the way I've structured this whole thing is a business. The way I've structured this follows a lot of what Rich talks, because I mean, we're buddies and we've talked about this stuff, and a lot of stuff I just kind of learned by learning the hard way, but a lot of stuff I'd learned by like watching Rich or talking to Rich or having Rich share things with me and that. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And so it's just funny to see him written down there. And it seems so obvious, but at the same time, I see so many people not doing it. Like, the book one is amazing. The amount of guys that are doing like book sales drives me nuts. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to do, and like the Kickstarter, for example, like I ran a Kickstarter because like I heard maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I'm like, I'm going to find out for myself. Ran a Kickstarter. I found the process, like, it wasn't bad. Ultimately, though, the opportunity costs of running one are not worth it. Like, the amount of things you could do in the time that you're spending on a Kickstarter campaign are a more productive use of your time than a Kickstarter campaign. It just doesn't grow in the way that it would need to make it worthwhile. And that's like, it's not like, oh, I just need 10% more. It's not like 3 times more. And I have like an authors group chat that I chat with, and most of them are like, no, I actually like it for this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, all that stuff is great. My issue is the opportunity cost. You could have written a whole other book in the time it took you to run the Kickstarter campaign, of which you do better sales, but not great sales. Like 10 copies, 20 copies extra. Is that worth it? Not really. Not really. You're better off just writing another book and then have the people who like your first book buy your second book. You'll make a lot more money anyway. And they'll enjoy books more. So why wouldn't you do it that way? And then they would just argue and bitch and moan. So I'm like, all right, forget it. Obviously, this is one of those things, like, I'm hell-bent to do it this way. I don't care if it makes any sense or not. And then, again, reading through Rich's thing, it's the same thing. So I enjoyed it. I found it's, like, deceptively valuable for what you're expecting. Because you're expecting a pablum grifter book. But it's not. It's actually fairly effective. But the kind of person it's effective for is such a small... It's like Red Pill. Most guys are going to fuck this up anyway. But for the few that do catch it, you give it to everybody. Ooh, by the way, oh, this is good. The best outcome for guys here is becoming a Carl. Absolutely. Carl is just came and he went and he's gone and he's living his life. He gave me a couple updates and then he kind of left here too, which is nice. He's got a new girlfriend. He's got a dog. Had a new career, which is earning even more, which I didn't know he could earn more than what he was earning. But hey, I can't say the industry because that kind of gives away the game, but like, couldn't pick much better than that at this point in time. I'll just leave it at that. There's been enough crisis that I don't think it narrows it down to which industry in specific, but it's one of those ones, you know? That Illuminati shit. So good on him. Gonna be honest, the height never been a big help for me. Oh, God, yeah. Height is like being pretty. It helps get you through the door. Being taller will get you an initial chance that a shorter guy may not have given. But that's the thing. If you can rely on height, guys tend to rely on height, and so they miss out on all the other skills. So yeah, it's never been a big help. Because of course it's not a big help, it's a little help. But if you're, like, in college, I remember this. I talked about my buddy who was on the volleyball team. There was another one, I had a redneck with, like, the super nice car, also tall, thin, lean, that kind of thing. And this one rich dude from Vancouver had, like, an MR2 Spider. The rich Vancouver guy. But the one guy we had that was just amazing with game, and he didn't have none of that. He owned like a Honda CRX, which is just like a sports car without being a sports car. He was 5'4", blonde hair and like an M&M cut, and his nickname was Midget. Everybody called him Midget, and he just rolled with it. But my God, he was just swimming in poon. So yeah, height. But that's the thing. He was 5'4", man. He couldn't rely on height or that all shit. He was kind of pretty, sure, but no more pretty than anybody else. But you better believe, oh, Jesus Christ. He had such good game, I almost fucked him. You know what I mean? He's like one of those guys. So yeah, it helps. It helps. Like I said with my buddy Paul, he was dumb as rocks too. He was no personality. All he knew how to do was smile and laugh and say, that's cool, man. But he was tall and he was good looking. And he got a lot of lays, but he didn't get like all the lays. And a lot of people were very put off by it. And a lot of people, like maybe he slept with them once, but they're like, oh my God, he's really a vapid fuck, isn't he? And like, what are you going to do? But when you don't have that innate talent, which height is obviously an innate talent, you have to develop other things. And those things I find are more sustainably important. I don't know what else to tell you. You look like a smart young man with ambition. Do you have a minute to talk about a potential business opportunity? I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out. It's definitely a game recognizes game movement. You know the funny thing too, Matt, with your, so he was talking about before where the guy was running game and he kind of like, it looks so cringe from the outside. There's two things from that. Obviously the Jumbotron rule. Would you think, oh, he's running game, that's pretty good? Or would you think, he's running game, what the fuck is he doing? He's fucking it up. If you want to have some fun with this kind of stuff, you can walk in and AMOG the guy. Hey, are you doing this thing? Oh, that's cool. I love that game. And then just watch, because like so many guys have game, but they're not good at it, and so they crumble. Hold on a second. I think my building's have an announcement. We're gonna quickly.
So I used to be a pretty strong feminist. I've actually become a feminist again. Feminists, though, can be some of the worst people you'll ever meet. They can be like some of the most nasty. They'll take advantage of contradictory world values, right? Worldview, which is that like I'm talking about like psychology and mental health for men, and yet I'm in a field that like is overly feminized and shoving drugs down men's throat. And I'm like, and I'm still recommending it because I don't want to lose like the baby out with the bathwater. Just because not all therapists are well trained to work with men. Just because a lot of therapists might even be biased against particularly like incel type men. If they hear misogynistic language at all, they might like shut you down. So and it was just difficult because I didn't want to be like super like nasty and mean or anything.
From the author and content creator that brought you the heartfelt, the F trophies for clout, the 6-foot-tall Tate, and the not funniest member of Rule Zero, Volume 2, Dread.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, this guy needs to shut up. Wait, that's not even an ad. The weirdest signal is when you talk with a girl in a group and all of a sudden everybody else has gone elsewhere. It's a very subtle green light. Oh, yeah. I'll leave you two alone. Honestly, I wish more women were like that. They're such good wingmen that way. And this is why like winning over the mother hen is such an important thing. Because those other women are kind of like, I don't trust my judgment. I trust the judgment of the herd. So if the other women are like, yeah, you being with him doesn't embarrass you, it kind of gives you a green light. So this is why you can't be mean to her friends. Because her friends are the ones that are helping you out. Yeah, talking with them and talking at them. Fake Mish. We got a fake Mish too? Jesus Christ, man. Is this that same guy? Has this whole time it's been the one guy hyper fixated for all these years? It's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, let me get caught up here. Well, that'll be nice. I mean, to be fair, when it came to like writing stories, the ones that I followed were Stanley Fish, Simon Lancaster, and I'm drawing a blank at the third name. But it's funny because it was more so about sentence construction and speech writing. But I found those to be valuable. But a lot of it is because like I don't want you to get, it's like it's the same I was talking about with the pickup structure. If you follow a structure too much, it becomes stale. And so it's nice to know when you can kind of break the rules as a tension building exercise. Like when somebody's expecting something, like when they expect it and you don't deliver, that creates a tension. And then when you deliver it later, it releases the tension. And those subtle interplays there are what create good storytelling. And whether it's game, whether it's writing, whether it's video, whether it's whatever. Sometimes it's just like a little pause that goes on a little too long, builds a little tension. Sometimes it's not having a pause and you just go straight through to the other thing. Sometimes it's breaking the rule because everybody knows what a good story is. Everybody knows what a good game is. And just changing something up to the point where it makes them feel a little uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, I know this routine. I've seen this routine. He's doing this part wrong. Is he doing that on purpose? And then he does something else that's on point. You're like, oh, that was on purpose to make me feel weird about it. Interesting. Yeah, Rich calling any of the Tates high value put me off his stuff. Well, I mean... Oh, you're not going to like this then. He's not wrong, but there's a big caveat on there. Obviously, Tate's like a Barnum and Bailey, Morton Downey Jr. talk show, Geraldo Rivera, very just say the most outlandish shit ever. But I mean, let's face it, they're what, 6 foot something? They're like 6'2". They've got status from the thing here. And yeah, they're allegedly trafficking women and running cam girl and pimp shit. But like, they're good at it. Now, do I find them productive in this space? No, I find them absolutely horrible in this space. Do I find their advice and lessons to be good? No, I do not find them to be good at all. God damn it, again?
We got to start to focus on the more important stuff now. We got to shift gears here. I don't want to do these pissing contests and, well, you know, people keep throwing out this bet. I mean, you guys all know this stuff already. I mean, Colty never accepted it. Colty's just like a piece of shit. I mean, basically that's what it is. He's a piece of shit. And if people want to question my honor and integrity, that's okay. Most of the people who do this stuff don't have any integrity. I'm not deleting my account because of that guy, Seth. I broke those contracts about a week and a half ago. And whatever, people are going to get pissed off at me. I don't care if they're going to get pissed off at me.
Sounds very paranoid to me. Like, Dill Reed is quite paranoid to me, but it does screams a little bit of somebody who is very paranoid on anyone. I think I do think there's an element of suspicion. Like, if you are feeling a certain level of vulnerability, that I think this guy definitely is.
What a bitch. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So it's like, and they're obviously getting women. They fucked Peterson's daughter. Lauren Southern, which, to be fair, a lot of girls are fucking Lauren Southern, or a lot of guys are fucking Lauren Southern. So if you want to just go strictly by the book, yeah, they kind of are high value, but at the same time, it's a very third world redneck. Like, I wouldn't have a beer with them. I wouldn't trust them with anything. So it's kind of like the ultimate CAD thing, to be honest, where you talk about this place being amoral. Yeah, none of their messaging or their content screams value, but the guys behind it, they're valuable. But again, that's separate tone from content, right? I mean, if you were a 6'2" kickboxer living in Eastern Russia with a lot of money, kidnapping women, you'd be swimming in poon too. Oh, you just got to do that. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with leaving that extra pussy on the table. I do want to put a caveat on this one, too, about watching out comedians tell stories. He's right. Watch them on their comedy specials. That's the curated stuff. Don't watch them on the podcasts. I am tired of seeing comedians on podcasts. It's like, dude, why are you too cheap for therapy? Why are you using your podcast as a therapeutic element? And all you're doing is sitting there talking about gratitude. Like, shut up. Even now, like the new Sarah Silverman special and the new Dave Chappelle special, they spent she spent half of it talking about like processing her dad's death. It's like, this is not comedy special material. This isn't funny. This is actually horrific. Same thing with Chappelle. He's like talking about civil rights and stuff. It's like, I didn't come here for 20 minutes on a Rosa Parks lecture. Are you fucking kidding me?
Sounds very paranoid to me.
Name a bigger red flag than a white guy with a podcast. I'll wait.
I am not impressed. I will have you know, I'm like 80% white. The podcast is goddamn good, and I don't want you anyway. You got random Iroquois art and not art on your walls. You're not my type, sir. Or madam. I don't know, you're allowed to say any more? Jesus. Rich's content always felt like the world's longest suicide note. I mean, I say what you will about whether if you like that statement or you don't like that statement, as far as like a literary sentence, like that's well put together. I wish I could write that well. I don't know. keep in mind, I understand a lot of his content with the single moms and the divorce stuff is obviously based on personal experience, which it's valuable. It's good. Would you want him to talk about more positive stuff? I'm like, do you really want him to? If so, he's got his car community. You want to hear him talk well, ask him about driving up and down the Baja in an R8 or whatever. I guarantee you'll get the most positive rich in the world. So yeah, finished Dog Walker yesterday, kind of slice of life. It absolutely is slice of life. It's 2000s nostalgia slice of life about a coming of age story for a guy learning to stop being a promise keeper. And that's the best part of it is, like, you as a red-pilled connoisseur, you know the things, you know the concepts, you know the jargon. I think you're in a wonderful position to take a little bit more from it than the average reader does, because you understand what a promise keeper is. And so you see the mistakes he makes and you understand it on a level that other people don't. They just get to experience it. Audio, been driving long distance a lot. Hey, you know what? Most people read the audiobooks. I get it. That's why I've always done audiobooks. For after the first one, I was like, dude, most of you guys would rather pay to have me read it to you, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I knew as soon as I brought up Lawrence Sutherland being the town bicycle, Rollo would show up. Hey, what's up, buddy? Oh, man, it's so good to see you. Doesn't that feel good, though? Chick that tried to fuck you fucked everybody. The look in your eyes as you die inside as he keeps talking in that ad. Chef's kiss. Oh, yeah. I'm not even... Actually, wait. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the Pat Stedman one? Or are you talking about the podcast one? I always love those, man. They're classics. I got to do some more. I really do, but I've got so many now. Yeah. And Emily, you're right, too. Having to figure out from scratch is a slog, but worth it. There's... Chesty has a great essay. It's like, stop shitting on Bob Vila or something like that. Don't be mad at Bob Vila. And this kind of correlates with that. The Bob Vila one was just mostly about the guys that were hating on red-pilled content creators, or just like the idea of a sidebar in general. The way it's summed up is he was using Bob Vila as an example of a guy who, like, he knew everything about construction. He shows you tips and tricks, helps you out, saves you a bunch of time. And there was this attitude among people that I learned the hard way, I put in my stripes, and so therefore you have to too. And they would get very mad at people who made it easy and accessible. To which, so long as they're not making it worse or inaccurately describing things, like as long as they're not being what's the word I'm looking for, irresponsible with how they're teaching, presenting, content creating, informing, whatever, then whatever, leave Bob Vila alone. He's helping people out, saving them time. So yes, you can learn everything the hard way, absolutely, but if you're able to learn without going through all the hardships and get to the same space, then fuck, who cares? I'm kind of with you, though. I like learning the hard way, but at the same time, there's only so much time in the day, so I would rather learn from other people's mistakes than my own. Nothing alleged. Nothing alleged. Yeah, how would that make you feel? Imagine that. You'd settle down with a nice single mom and feel great. It's like, hey, by the way, Destiny and Tate are your Eskimo brother. I don't know how I'd feel about that, because it's kind of like, you know in the old TV shows where there'd be a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, and then you realize like all three of you slept with the same woman? It'd be like that. I don't know how Bugs Bunny would survive that. I think he would walk off a cliff and hold a yikes sign. And I don't even mean to shit on her. Like, she's a Canadian prairie girl. I know the type. They're on Facebook usually giving pithy aphorisms to explain their personal drama. The only difference is she has an audience when she's doing it. So, I mean, good for her. I hope she earns enough money to put her kid through college and not have her become one of those statistic kids. So, I'm wishing her the best. If for no other reason than I don't want to be robbed by somebody in 10 years from now. The Annoying Psychology podcast lady, I can't even remember her name. Oh, see, that does not narrow it down. Oh, that one. Yeah. That one. Yeah, Erudite. Dude, she's from the same hometown as me too. I'm so irritated. So irritated by that one. Whatever. Anyways, we're winding down now. We've reached about the end. Hope you guys enjoyed. Look, if you don't like game, you don't agree with game, I hope you at least hate it on its own merits. Don't hate it because of some straw man you built up for it. Don't hate it because of what you think it is. Hate it for what it is. Or don't. Or use it. Or be fine with it. And then just realize, this is what most guys learned when they red pill to some extent or another. Like, you came here as like a top tier man with like one fault, or you just like the entertainment of it, or it's the only place to be a guy, or you never get to brag about it anywhere. Whatever reason, most guys will come in here and think the red pill thing is about just getting laid, and then you realize it's mostly about the human condition. The first time you game a client, the first time you game a vendor, the first time you game your boss into a promotion or something like that, you realize, oh my God, this is just the human condition, systematized with just a little bit of autism, and all I have to do is take out the autism and roll with it, and it's like, awesome. This is your potential, and I'm rooting for you. So on that note, get yourself a copy of Ghost of Odessa if you haven't yet, or you can't go wrong with Softbone. Like, it really is a great read. And again, you get that one benefit that the average reader doesn't get, is you understand red pill stuff, and so you'll get a lot of the subtle nods. You're going to understand the idea of the pussy whipped beta male as the cyberpunk like standard, the feminization of society. It's going to be extreme examples of it, but fuck, it's all couched in a great little story too. And you can finish off, if you're a fast read, you can finish it off in an afternoon. It's not a heavy read. It's not like these 1,000-page world building bullshits, man. I only tell you just what you need to know to get into it. I don't fill your head with bullshit. There's no test afterwards. Ghost of Odessa Book Club podcast, when, in fairness, I have been seriously considering converting this one into the book podcast. I know I'd probably lose about half of you, but it's like tempting, because it's like I'm running out of red pill stuff without repeating myself. You guys obviously know that. You've been around long enough. You know at a certain point where it's like, oh, I know this episode. I know what he's going to say, and I hate being a caricature of myself, so it may be tempting. A super game coming soon. Thank you for everything you do. Hey, you know what? Keep watching. I'll keep recording. Keep reading, and I'll keep writing. That's the greatest thank you can do, is just engaging with my stuff on its own terms. That's all you got to do, man. If you stop watching this, I'll stop recording it. If you stop reading this stuff, I'll stop writing. If you stop watching, you stop watching cooking videos, I'll stop cooking. Fair. Yeah, because I mean, look, I get it. I enjoy the space. I enjoy talking about the stuff, even if I am like very love-hate with it. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy seeing it reward people's lives well. I really do. It's one of the most rewarding things I found when I was teaching in the military, and it's the one thing I'm finding rewarding about this job today. Which is why I've still been like 350 episodes of the workshop of all things. It's like 5 years straight. It's been going consistently. I never advertise for it. It always keeps it nice and small and cozy. I love it. But yeah, Volume 3, Softbone meets the Tates. Well, I mean, technically the way it ends now, I think it'll end up in Japan. But I mean, I could do whatever I want to it. Quit the addictive timbre. I gotta read it already. It is. Look, it's good. And you can even read it yourself. I don't have the audiobook for Ghost of Odessa. I'll probably start that one off a little later. But it should be good as well. I enjoy, to be fair, I enjoy Ghost of Odessa more. Only because... So, like, Softbone is very... It's a simple story done well. Dogwalker is a simple slice-of-life story done well. Ghost of Odessa is a layer on top of a simple story done well. Like, how do you carry on a story that's already done well? And the way it adds a level of... I don't want to say complexity. I guess depth might be a way. Which is weird to talk about a book that's, like, very over-the-top, on-the-nose satire, but yeah. My income 5 times since I found this place. Well, I don't see that reflected in the super chats. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go. I don't know who's hosting Rule Zero. I'm trying to sneak in on this one here. I think I got some time because it's like the weather's not doing so hot, so I don't think we're going to the beach, and I'm not gonna get a shade darker. I'll catch you guys on the next one though. Alyssa was playing with me like a science experiment. What are you doing? I've never seen one from a dark guy before. It's usually pink. She continued examining me as if David Attenborough were narrating. Well, take a look now, it's getting late. Are you kicking me out? She looked as surprised as the last time, or any time I've kicked her out. No, not right away, but, soon. Actually, wait. Where are my clothes, she said as she snapped up her white panties. She never wears the comfortable panties when she comes over. In the dryer. Thanks. She tiptoed out of the room. She pulled out a slim pair of denim jeans and a white cotton shirt, just how you'd expect a woman to dress for a movie or the malt shop. A small Christian girl from a small Christian town. She threw her shirt on, and just like that, her wholesome disguise was complete. I sat up, in bed, and reached for my bathrobe. Big white, fuzzy towel of a robe. Wait, I want to ask you something. You don't owe me an answer, I said, but I want to know something. That stain on her shirt was completely gone. I love that damned washing machine. It was worth every penny. Stop drifting, Rex. Don't lose this thought. Don't you fucking dare. Yes, the stain is gone, she said. No, not that. I'm not fucking Mike anymore. No, not that either. I know that. It's that... The worse I treat you, the better you act. Okay. She laughs nervously. She's uncomfortable with this conversation that hasn't even started yet. I kicked you out of my condo, and the next weekend you gave me a blowjob in the hallway. You gave me that whip to play with, and then you told me I was a better lay than Mike. I don't even call you by your real name. I don't get it. Stalling, just say it. Why do you let me treat you like this?